가위바위보!
사랑하는 미니에게 미나 안녕? 안녕이란 인사말 뒤에 편지를 어떻게 써내야 가는지 생각은 많이 했는데 한참 고민했어. 고등학생 때부터 너 모습, 그러고 여름날 만났던 너의 모습까지 머릿속에 가득 판다. 내가 봐온 너는 아담하지만 대담하고 야무지고 언제나 열심히 너의 길을 걸어갔지. To my beloved friend Min, hi. I thought long and hard about what to say after hi in this letter. My head is full of images of you from high school to the summery day we met. You've always been petite but bold, always working hard, forging your own path. 그 모습이 늘 친구로서 자랑스럽고 대견하고 때론 부러웠지만 힘들고 외로웠겠지 하고 생각했다. 감히 너가 지나온 길을 내가 알 순 없지만 내가 힘들고 외로울 때 멀리 있어도 항상 공감할 수 있어서 고맙고 또 걱정도 되었어. 타지에서 생활이 외국인으로 사는 것도 나도 조금 경험했었잖아. 어떤 때는 가족에게도 말하지 못할 어려움을 너와 나누곤 했어. 어쩌다 보니 결혼도 아이도 먼저 낳았지만 결혼 생활과 육아는 늘 새로운 단계로 접어들더라. 같이 살아봤는데도 그 사람을 몇 년 동안 오랫동안 봤는데도 다 아는 줄 알았는데도 함께 겪는 일들이 처음인 것처럼 그런 것도 많아서 힘들 때도 있지만 함께라서 감사할 때가 더 많아. That's what I always admired in you as a friend. At times I was envious, but I always thought it must have been difficult and lonely for you too. I've appreciated being able to empathize with you despite being so far away. As you know, I too have lived abroad a while, and there are times when you face difficulties you can't even share with your family. But I could with you. Somehow I got married and had a baby before you, and I can tell you that there are always new stages of development in marriage and in raising a child. Even though my husband and I lived together for a number of years, known each other for a very long time in fact, and thought we know everything there is about each other, there are experiences that are first for us. And there are times this makes it tough. But you know, there are more times that I'm grateful we're in it together. 올해 연애한 너도 이미 알고 있지? 크리스는 잘 알지 못하지만 보기만 해도 듬직한 그 모습으로 너를 충분히 감싸주고 받아줄 수 있을 것 같아. 그리고 무엇보다 책임감 넘치는 너의 선택을 받은 남자이니 분명히 멋지고 좋은 사람이라고 생각해. 그래도 혹시 너의 마음을 조금이라도 아프게 한다면 언제든지 전화해. 크리스에게 한마디 해줄 정도로 영어는 연습해 놓을게. So you already know this from dating Chris for a long time. I don't know Chris well, but just by the look of him, he looks so dependable. And I think he'll stand up for you and accept you completely. Most of all, Chris looks so trustworthy. And in you, Min, choosing him, I'm certain he's a cool guy and a great man. There's a but if he ever hurts you even a little bit, you can call me about it anytime. And I'll make sure my English is good enough to tell him off. In case that ever happens. 상상하던 크리스와 너의 결혼식이 진짜로 다가오니 난 또 너무 떨렸던 것 같아. 솔직히 말하면 축사도 영어로 할까, 옷은 뭘 입어야 할까, 가족들과 만나서 어떤 인사를 할까 상상을 많이 했어. 그런데 벌써 결혼식이 돌아오고 나는 결국 엄마라는 자리에 대체 엄마라는 자리를 대체 할 방법이 없어 찾지 못했어. 엄마가 되어보니 참 놓기가 쉽지 않구나. 그래도 머릿속으론 한 30번은 너의 결혼식을 간 것 같아. The day of your wedding that I only imagined is now upon us, and I've been really nervous about it as much as I was eagerly anticipating it. Honestly, I wasn't sure if I should say the speech in English, wondered about what to wear, how to say hello to your new family, and so on. But alas, the day is here, and as a mum, I couldn't find a way to attend your wedding. Since becoming a mum, it hasn't been easy to let go of this responsibility. However, in my mind, it feels like I've been to your wedding at least 30 times. 온 마음을 다해 온 우주와 함께 너의 결혼을 축하해. 미니, 너는 정말 행복하게, 슬기롭게, 현명하게 잘 살 거라 믿어. I'm crying. 가까이 있지 못해서 연락이 뜸해져서 너를 이해하지 못하진 않을까 하는 생각 같은 거 절대 하지 말고, 그래도 먼저 결혼한 선배로서 너의 모든 말들을 판단하지 않고 들어줄 자신 있는 말. 그러니 언제나 연락 줘. 그리고 우리 호불한 할머니가 돼서 여행 다니고 떡볶이 먹자. 세상에서 웃는 게 제일 귀여운 내 친구. 결혼 축하한다. 같이 드레스도 고르고 이것저것 함께 했으면 더 좋았겠지만 뭘 입어든 뭘 바르던 오늘 너가 제일 빛날 거야. I congratulate you with all my heart, along with the whole universe. Min, I believe you'll live happily and wisely. Don't ever think you can't get in touch because we don't live close by or because we haven't spoken in a while. Don't ever think I won't understand because I've been married longer than you and I'll listen to you without judgment. Please call me anytime. And even when we're hunchback grandmas, let's travel and eat street food together. To my dear friend whose smile is the cutest in the world, I'm so happy for you. It would have been fun to pick out your wedding dress together and get ready for the big day, but I know you'll shine the brightest today, whatever you wear and whatever you put on. 행복하자 우리 다빈이가. Let's both be happy together. From 다빈.
어색하네. 내가 기억하기로 우리는 어릴 때 엄청 많이 싸웠거든. 근데 놀랍게도 내가 기억하는 것보다 우리의 싸움을 주변에서 더 많이 기억해. 내가 생각한 것보다 훨씬 많이 싸웠던 것 같아. 그래서 다 크고 처음에 떨어져 지낼 때는 오히려 좋기도 했어. 언니는 가끔 엄마보다 나한테 잔소리를 더 많이 했거든. 그래도 따지고 보면 언니가 늘 부럽고 자랑스러웠어. 어릴 때는 공부도 잘했고 나보다 더 사교적이었고 학교에서 동아리 활동도 하고 친구들 주위에 있을 때가 더 많았던 것 같아. 그리고 대학 때는 혼자 아르바이트해서 모은 돈으로 유럽 여행도 다녀오고 그만큼 또 독립적이었던 것 같아. 내가 못해본 일을 먼저 해서 그걸 보면서 용기도 얻고 부럽고 자랑스러웠어. 그리고 언니가 해외에서 사는 게 자유롭고 한국보다 편해 보였고 그래서 계속 나가서 산다고 했을 때도 그런가 보다 했는데 그때는 오래 나가 있던 건 아니어서 그랬던 것 같아. 그리고 4년 정도 코로나 때문에 못 보고 3개월 정도 집에 있었잖아. 그때는 오히려 크고 나서니까 덜 싸우고 같이 있는 시간도 길어서 더 많이 친하게 지냈던 것 같아. 다시 호주로 간다고 하니까 되게 허전했어.
맞아.
그때는 언니가 결혼하면 이제 더 자주 못 볼 거라고 생각을 해서 그랬던 것 같아. 언니가 그리고 외국에서 혼자 살면서 많이 외롭고 불안했겠다 생각했어. 지금은 놀란이랑 크리스랑 알콩달콩 잘 지내고 있는 것 같아서 다행이야. 그리고 나도 아직 결혼을 안 했으니까 결혼에 대해서 할 말은 없지만 없는데 언니나 나나 어릴 때보다는 많이 온화해졌지만 마지막으로 성질을 더 죽이는 것도 좋을 것 같아. 언니가 화내면 엄청 무서우니까 너무 화내지 말고 대화도 잘 풀어보면 좋겠다. 내가 말 안 해도 옆에 같이 잘 지냈으니까 잘 살겠지?
네.
언니도 언제든 답답할 때 나한테도 얘기해도 돼. 그리고 떨어져 있으면 좋은 일로 더 많이 왔으면 좋겠다. 조카가 생기거나 조카가 생기는 일 같이 기대하고 있어. 앞으로 살면서 행복한 일이 더 많은 결혼 생활이 되길 바래. 결혼 축하해 언니. 사랑해.
고마워.
Okay, so someone just wanted to run through that by herself, which is fair enough. So I'll just give you the translation. Dear sister, hi. It's a little awkward to write a letter to you like this because I haven't done it before. From memory, we used to fight a lot when we were young, but surprisingly, people around us remember fights I don't even recall. So we must have fought even more than I thought. That's why now that we've grown up and living far apart, I was happy at times. Sometimes your nagging is worse than Mum's.
Wow.
Surprising, right?
Hands up to those who can relate to that. That's why, okay, to be honest, I've always been a little envious, but also proud of you. When we were younger, you were better at studying than me and more sociable. You were often the centre of attention in clubs at school. At university, you worked part-time to save up for a trip to Europe. You've always paved the way for me and I've always been encouraged by it. A little bit jealous, but also really proud. Min, you seem so free and comfortable living abroad. I didn't think much of it when you kept living overseas because we saw each other regularly. But it's been 4 years since I saw you, and then you stayed at home last year with us for 3 months. And it was during that time we didn't fight so much, we got on really well. When you said you were returning to Australia, I felt sad and a little empty inside. I think it's also because I thought, when you're married, I won't be able to see you as often and for as long. I thought you would have been lonely living on your own overseas for such a long time. So I'm really glad you live a happy and sweet life with Chris. I'm not yet married, so I don't have a lot to say about marriage. Compared to when you were younger though, we're a lot tame, but I reckon you could kill that temper of yours a little more. You know that you're really frightening when you're angry, right? So my advice to you is not get too angry and instead talk it out. Talk it out with Chris. Obviously, you and Chris have been together long enough to know and to live well together. But whenever you need to talk, always call me. And even though we'll be far apart, I hope to see you more often for happy reasons, like seeing my niece or nephew. No doubt they will be beautiful kids. I wish you many more happy moments in your married life. Congratulations, dear sister. I love you.
Wow, beautiful.
You've grown into a great man. You're the better man. You've got a better job, better car, better house, better dog. You're also better at ghosting after a night out. So you're better at that as well. So let's welcome the best man, Nick Williamson.
Thank you. We went to the punk club here and recently went to your box. We know you like to dress up, so. Besides, yeah, there you go. He recently married himself. Give him a hand again, Nick Williamson.
Yeah, congratulations as well.
You don't have to wear that, but it would make, it does look good on you.
Nick and Ace, congratulations as well.
Yeah. Nick. Sonia gonna.
As most of you know who I am, not introduce myself to you, but for those who don't know me, I'm Nick, Chris's brother and best man, also known as Cute Nick to Chris's other best friends.
Cute Nick.
오케이. 안녕하세요. 여기 계신 분 중에 저를 모르실 분이 몇 명 안 되십니다. 그 나머지 몇 분에게 저를 소개하겠습니다. 저는 신랑 남동생 닉입니다. 크리스와 민 클럽맨 친구들에게 귀여운 동생으로 알려져 있죠.
When Chris asked me to be his best man today, to say I was excited was an understatement. After this question, the first thing he did was open a bottle of whiskey in celebration. The second question Chris had to me was to do a speech. I said yes in a matter of seconds. This took Chris by somewhat of a surprise, as he knows I'd happily sit in the corner and see everyone else do a speech.
크리스가 신랑 들러리 부탁을 할 때 정말 기뻤습니다. 조니 워커 블루 레벨 양주를 딱 마시면서 연설까지 부탁했을 때 하자마자 제가 바로 동의하니까 갑자기 놀라더군요. 제가 대중 연설을 잘 안 하고 남들이 먼저 발표하기를 기다리는 편이라서요. 그 다음날 숙취에서 깨자 잠깐 내가 뭐라고 했다고 했지? 하며 후회했지만 오늘 이 자리에 섰습니다.
Safe to say, the next morning I woke up questioning my response to Chris's question. But I stand here in front of all of you to tell you the best stories from the 32 years I've known Chris.
제가 크리스를 안 지 32년 동안 최고의 에피소드를 오늘 알려드리겠습니다.
As you'll be aware, we are a very big family. Three sisters and two brothers. Come here. There we go. As you'll be aware, we are a very big family. Three sisters and two brothers. And as a result of mine and my younger sister Maddie, it was our jobs to push the limits of our oldest siblings. I'd push the limits with Chris, while Maddie pushed the limits with Ali and Libby. Unlucky for Madge, she had two siblings. Two sisters to annoy, whereas I only had one brother to annoy.
아시다시피 저희는 아주 큰 가족입니다. 아들 둘, 딸 셋. 저와 막내 동생이 항상 형, 오빠, 누나, 언니들을 도전하는 것이 거의 저 직업적으로 했죠.
This sometimes worked in our favour. However, it would also work against us as we got older. If you want more details about the sisters annoying each other, go see Maddie in the corner and she can divulge some more secrets.
Hands up, Maddie.
Hands up, lads.
저 여동생한테 물어보면 재밌는 얘기가 많이 있습니다.
The first story that springs to mind about Chris is one at Christmas that we spent in Ballina. Santa was kind enough to get me a brand new Cassiano watch. Back then, these things were the best thing a young boy could ask for. But it didn't last the whole night. As the day progressed, I got more tired. I went to Chris's room to go see what he was doing. As the five of us were sitting in the room, we started to wrestle on the bed as siblings do. Chris grabbed me by the wrist and ripped my watch off. I started crying. First thing I did was turn around and punch Chris dead centre of his nose. But back then the target was as big as what it is today.
첫 이야기는 크리스마스 때 어렸을 때 휴가를 갔었습니다. 산타 할아버지가 저에게 최고의 선물인 카시오 손목시계를 주셨습니다. 하지만 하루가 안 갔습니다. 크리스가 내 손목을 잡아가지고 시계를 떼어가는 것을 보고 저는 바로 우는 척 뒤돌아본 후 바로 코를 펀치를 지금 그때는 이때처럼 코가 엄청 크지 않아서 잘 때릴 수 있었어요.
Yeah. Big nose, attractive. Boyle.
Fast forward a couple of years later, Chris got his revenge on me in Costco show for Carl McMahon.
It's on the mic.
As you know,
You
Chris
lost the
is
mic again.
Oh, I reckon it again.
No, you keep turning it off. Yeah.
Fast forward a couple of years later, Chris got his revenge in Costco Street with Carl McMahon. As you know, Chris is reasonably tall. This is a bad thing for long haul flights, but a very good thing in the cricket world.
무슨 일인지 하고
No.
오케이. 아까 부모님이 오셔가지고요. 어떻게 된 거야 물어보니까 자기는 자기 코 맞은 얘기만 했더래요.
As I stood in the driveway with cricket bat in tow, I looked down from where Chris was bowling. It was probably 10 metres away from where I was standing. A young 8-year-old brother versus 13-year-old brother in the cricket net is not what dreams are made of. Chris was bowling these balls at a ferocious pace, and I was having flashbacks of what had happened if it occurred a few years earlier with the watch, and realised it was my time to face the music. I stood my ground and did my best, but my best wasn't good for this occasion, and he got the better of me.
그래서 크리스가 복수를 하려고요. 이 아까 말씀드린 호주 야구 크리켓을 하는데 8살인 닉과 13살인 크리스. 그러니까 코 때린 날을 후회할 만큼 막 달려드는 거예요. 그 공으로. 그래서 머리 위로 공을 던지는데 진짜 머리 날리는 줄 알았어.
In dedication to perfect the sport. Again, as a younger brother, I'll play the sport better with little effort and always annoy him in the process.
크리스는 만능 스포츠맨입니다. 아주 좋아하는 운동이 있으면 정말 열심히 훈련해서 잘하게 했습니다. 하지만 전 젊은 동생으로서 크리스한테 짜증나게도 그 운동 뭐가 됐든 열심히 안 해도 잘했습니다.
As a result of me being naturally talented at these things, Chris saw as one thing I'd never be good at, and that was music. From the moment Chris picked up the guitar, he found his calling. I can remember sitting in my Avenue garage with Chris, and Dad walks in the front door. Dad looks at Chris's new bass guitar and the speaker, and he goes, "And how the hell do you expect to fit that in your car?" For contents, the speaker was the size of Chris's car, probably weighed the same, and cost the same as the car.
Did.
It was a good Korean car too.
Hyundai.
It was the XL.
XL.
They don't make them anymore for a reason, probably. 제가 하는 운동을 잘하니 크리스가 아무래도 제가 절대로 더 잘할 수 없는 것을 생각해내더군요. 그게 음악이었습니다. 기타를 들자마자 완전 타고난 재능이 있는 것처럼 잘했습니다. 음악 광이 되어 승용차 크기만한 현대 엑셀 스피커폰을 옮기는데 도우다가 허리 다친 적도 많았어요.
Who's Adam? Who else?
I can remember helping Chris move this big speaker into his car while breaking my back so he can attend band practice once a week. This passion quickly turned into the next step in your music career, singing, something else I can't do. And you can sing very well. You've sung at weddings, sung on stage, the people at weddings are at the back there, all three of them.
All of them. Put them all. We seated them all together. We seated them all together. So stand up, sing. Now sing for us.
And you've even carried your music career overseas.
아까 일주일마다 한 번씩 밴드 연습이 있어서 그때마다 도우다가 허리가 많이 다쳤습니다. 음악에 소질이 넘쳐서 해외 진출도 하고 1000명 이상인 앞에 무대에서도 노래 공연을 한 크리스입니다. 대단한 인물이죠. 여기 있는 결혼식 4건에서도 노래를 부르셨다네요. 아무래도 오늘 한곡 이쪽에 Chris, they want you to sing tonight.
One.
As the years pass, the closer we become as brothers, and no longer pushing the limits of each other. We no longer required to look over the shoulders of each other to see when the next punch will be thrown, or when the next cricket ball has come for my head.
우린 크면서 덜 싸우고 많이 친해졌습니다. 큰형으로서 오빠로서 항상 우리를 돌봐주고 언제든지 전화해서 무슨 얘기도 할 수 있는 그런 형과 오빠죠.
You have always been the big brother. You always had your big brother hat around your 3 younger siblings. Something we all appreciate. Sorry, Ali, you need to look after yourself. Chris, you've always been the person we can call at any time of the day and have a chat to.
예, 여기 누나 엘리만 빼고 다 잘 챙겨주셨습니다.
So Minna, now it's your turn to be included in these stories. I can remember distinctly going up to Mum and Dad's house one weekend and Mum being very, very excited that Chris was coming home. However, Mum was sworn to secrecy from Chris not to tell anyone that there was a girl on the scene. Mum quickly told all of us and Maddie went to work. Anyway, it turns out the park name is very common in Facebook. And it made very hard work.
미나 형수님, 이제 우리 가족 전설에 포함됐습니다. 우리 가족 별장에서 모임이 있던 그 주말이 생각납니다. 엄마가 크리스가 해외에서 온다고 신이 나셨어요. 근데 엄마가 크리스 비밀을 지키지 못하고 여자친구 얘기를 모두한테 해버리셨습니다. 여동생 매디와 함께 미나 수소문 시작을 했지만 와, 박 씨가 그렇게 많은 줄 몰랐어요.
Chris, you had mentioned Minna in a few of our phone calls we had when you were overseas. However, not long after you landed in Sydney, Minna, you also landed for a holiday in Sydney. And we are very glad you did so.
크리스가 시드니에 도착한 후 곧 따라 미나가 호주로 도착해서 저희는 너무 기뻤습니다.
After a quick stay in Sydney, you both picked up your bags and moved to Melbourne. However, Chris quickly asked me for a favour to help him drive to Melbourne. After arriving in Melbourne, Chris and I did what 2 guys will do after 10 hours of driving, and that was to head to the pub. After 5 to 6 hours at the pub, Minna walks in the door, and Chris and I are sitting there trying to pump up 2 blind mattresses and making very hard work of an easy activity. So the early impressions of me would have been very questionable, but I hope I've improved from this moment.
허나 바로 멜번으로 이사가게 됐습니다. 크리스 이사 도우려 10시간 넘게 운전을 하고 맥주로 스트레스 해소한 후 취한 상태에서 집으로 와서 그 에어 매트리스 바람내는 걸 보고 아마 미나 첫인상이 썩 안 좋았을 것 같아요. 하나 이제 많이 좋아졌겠죠? 소방님으로서?
During this time in Melbourne, it had ups and downs. Unfortunately, more downs than ups. COVID quickly involved both of you while you were down there for a 2-year period. During that time, Chris would continually update us with Minna's cooking photos. And they looked as good as they tasted.
멜번 생활이 많이 힘들었었죠. 코로나 시국인지라 많은 어려움을 겪으셨고 2년 동안 크리스가 미나의 감칠맛 나는 요리 사진을 보냈습니다.
After your stint in Melbourne, you hastily moved back to Sydney to continue your lives and grow your little family in Oldham. Minna, you have fit into this crazy family in Williamsons unbelievably well, and we could not be happier. Lucky for you, you now have the following: 2 boomers, 4 sisters-in-laws, 4 brother-in-laws, 4 nieces, 1 nephew, 4 dogs, and 1 cat.
I'm Brad. I'm Brad. I heard it. Yeah, I'm Brad.
이제 시드니에 와서 강아지 놀람과 함께 가족을 누리면서 알콩달콩 잘 살고 있습니다. 저희 유명한 가족을 어떻게 이렇게 잘 맞게 적응하는지 모르겠어요, 민아 씨. 우리 가족의 멋진 일원이 되어줘서 너무 감사합니다.
Bios, I'm Brad. I'm Brad. Not yet.
당신의 가족은 오늘부터 이렇게 들었습니다. 시아버님, 시아버님, 형님, 아주버님, 아가씨 2명, 서방님 3명, 동서, 조카딸 4, 조카아들 1, 강아지 4마리, 도가지 1마리 이렇게 들었습니다.
그리고 브라더!
I'm Brad.
So, after all that, Minna, I can say you have made Chris the happiest guy in the world today and every day. And you have done well, Chris. Minna is looking $100, $1 million today.
$100,000,001.
Yeah. You both deserve everything today is yours, and I hope every moment for you, and I hope you enjoy every moment for as many times to come. I can't offer you any advice on marriage as I'm only new to it myself, but you'll need to figure that out by yourself. But feel free to pass on any tips you have because I'll probably need them in the future.
미나, 크리스를 오늘 그리고 매일 세상에서 제일 행복한 남자로 만들었습니다. 그리고 크리스 정말 축하해. 미나 좀 봐. 너무나도 아름다워요 오늘. 둘 다 오늘의 행복을 누릴 자격이 있어. 이 순간을 여러 번 돌이키면서 즐기길 바래요. 나도 결혼한 지 얼마 안 돼서 조언할 순 없지만 형이나 워낙 잘 알아서 잘할 테니까 오히려 나 좀 도와줘. 좋은 팁 있으면 꼭 알려줘.
So everyone please raise a glass for Chris and Minna. I don't have one, but it will do. Chris and Minna. Chris and Minna. It's alright, Minna. Hopefully it's good. Good girl.
Well done. You did. I know that was hard for you. Well done. You did a great job.
You took the piss out of your brother in about half hour.
That's what you need. That's what you need.
Exactly.
멀리까지 와주셔서 대단히 감사드립니다. 우리 딸이지만 너무 너무 대견하죠. 태극기 알바에서 여행을 가더라고요. 그때는 아무 생각이 없었는데 그게 외국으로 떠나는 시작이 됐던 것 같아요. 그래서 다시는 안 오고 여기서 살게 될지 사실 몰랐어요. 근데 지금은 행복한 삶을 살고 있는 것 같아요. 그리고 민희에게 한마디 해주고 싶은 게 있어요. 네. 사랑하는 나의 민. 혼자서 고생 너무 많이 했던 것 같아. 낯선 곳에서 혼자 외롭게 살아왔을 텐데 힘들다는 표현 한 번 안 하고 너무 끝이 살았던 것 같아서 좀 고마워. 그래도 이제는 큰 기둥이 있잖아. 응? 크리스가 옆에 있으니까 항상 널 지켜주고 힘이 돼줄 거야. 그리고 내가 생각하는 결혼 생활에서 중요하다고 생각하는 건 서로에 대한 믿음, 신뢰라고 생각을 해. 우리 서로 믿고 의지하고 힘이 돼줘서 살았으면 좋겠어. 크리스한테 한마디만 할게. 크리스? 크리스? 우리 미니 외롭지 않게 항상 든든한 기둥이 돼서 우리 미니 사랑해주고 정리 주시.
Good evening, everyone. I'm the mother of the bride. I'd like to sincerely thank those of you who've travelled far to Sydney, Australia to be with us today. I know I'm biased, but I'm so proud of my daughter Min. She worked very hard at university and saved up enough for a solo trip to Europe. I should have known then. I should have known then that she couldn't live in Korea, but she was gone for a while at a time from time to time. But here we are, living so far apart. I can't see her often these days, but distance does make the heart grow fonder. To my beloved daughter Min, I know you would have been very lonely and endured hardships on your own, living in foreign land, encountering many challenges. I mean, you couldn't even say how hard it is to anyone. But now you have a pillar of support by your side in Chris, and you can discuss everything and rely on each other. I think the most important thing in marriage is trust in each other. It can break over little things. You met on the other side of the world and decided to marry. Please remember, this is a lifetime commitment to be together forever. It's fate that you met and it's precious. Chris, to you, I have a request. To always be by Min's side as a strong pillar of support, remembering she's living far away from her homeland. Congratulations, and I love you.
What a beautiful moment. It's very clear that love transcends.
I will sing one line of an a cappella song. Now?
Perform and then do your speech.
Okay.
Well, I stood before the ocean in the middle of the night. And 'cause I loved her so, I asked her then if she would be my wife.
It gets quite sad after that, so I can't get singing here. I end up drowning, so we don't want to go with that.
One more verse.
No, I genuinely get sad after that. 환영합니다. Welcome. So my friends and family, after a lovely night of speeches and well wishes, we are finally at the last one.
따뜻한 축원과 멋진 연설들로 오늘 밤을 저희 부부와 뜻깊게 주기고 계신 여러분들 모두 감사합니다.
As many of you would know, I'm not shy of a microphone and could talk for many hours here without a script. But as I'm now a married man, I will do as I'm told and read the speech that Mina made sure I prepared in advance.
많은 분들이 보시다시피 마이크를 잡고 대본 없이 1시간 넘게 떠들 수 있는 저희지만 이제는 유부남이기에 시키는 대로 미나가 미리 제게 준비시킨 연설만 하도록 하겠습니다.
With this being said, I take a lot of joy in saying that my wife. My wife and I would like to thank you all for being on here on our most special of days.
드디어 나의 아내라고 부를 수 있는 미나. 무한한 기쁨을 느끼고 저희 부부에게 있어 가장 뜻깊은 날인 오늘 저희와 함께 해주셔서 너무 감사합니다.
Thank you to everyone who has traveled all the way from Korea to be here. We understand that you have sacrificed significant money, travel time, and annual leave to be here, and we are so very grateful for you for doing this.
한국에서 이곳 호주까지 찾아오신 분들 정말 감사 인사 전합니다. 이곳까지 오시기 위해 상당한 비용을 지불하시고 장거리 비행 시간을 연차 휴가까지 쓰셔서 오신 것을 잘 알고 있고 이렇게 저희 부부와 함께 해주신 거에 대해서 진심 감사드립니다.
I know you have come all this way because of one thing and one thing alone. You love Amina. I'm so happy that today I will officially and also legally be joining this club, the We Love Mina Club. I will organise some shirts for the We Love Mina Club soon, and I will ensure that you all get a pet kangaroo to take home with you as a sign of our appreciation for you coming to Australia.
여러분이 먼 곳에서 이곳 호주까지 오신 이유가 단 한 가지라는 걸 잘 압니다. 그 이유는 여러분이 제 아내인 미나를 사랑하시기 때문이죠. 그리고 오늘 저는 공식적으로 합법적으로 여러분의 미사모 미나를 사랑하는 모임에 가입을 하게 되셔서 참 기쁩니다. 여러분들이 호주에 오신 것을 이제 감사 표시로 미사모 샤스와 호주의 상징인 캥거루 인형을 준비해서 여러분께 드리겠습니다.
Right, the Aussie lot. Thank you all to my Aussie-based friends and family who have joined us. As you can see, it's a very small wedding, and I want you to know that this means that you are incredibly special to me and Brad. So thank you to you all for being here. That's a gentleman, all jokes aside, thank you for being in our family, mate, truly. I'm not joking, I'm not taking the piss out of you. I love you.
오늘 이 자리에 우리가 함께한 호주 친구들과 가족에게도 감사의 인사를 드립니다. 보시다시피 저의 결혼식은 정말 저희 부부와 가까운 분들만 초대했습니다. 그렇기에 여기 이 자리에 계신 여러분들은 미나와 저에게 매우 특별한 분들이라는 걸 꼭 알아주셨으면 감사합니다. 감사하겠습니다.
감사합니다. Thank you. Thank you.
We're only like 4 paragraphs in on 2 pages. This is going to go for a long time. So, I hope that everyone has enjoyed the incredible wine and food and that the venue was served up for us. It's been difficult not really ripping into the wine, but after this, it's on, okay? I'll keep going here. Okay. No, actually.
오늘 하루 입안에서 녹는 와인과 음식들을 즐겼으면 바랍니다. 제가 이 연설에 앞서 와인에 빠져들지 않으려고 아주 자중하고 또 자중하고 있습니다. 하지만 연설이 끝나면 다들 절 조심하시기를 경고드립니다.
Okay, to the main person, Mina. We are married. Can you believe
believe the girl I chased around an island for 8 months in the middle of the Indian Ocean is now my wife. I think that it's amazing that a man from an island the size of Australia only needed a 2-kilometre island to find the love of his life.
미나야, 와 대박. 우리 결혼했어. 여러분, 인도양 한가운데 섬에서 8개월 동안 제가 쫓아다녔던 그녀가 이제는 제 아내가 됐습니다. 이렇게 큰 섬 호주에서 자란 제가 제 인생 반쪽 그녀를 찾는데 고작 2km 남짓 크기의 섬이 필요했다는 게 놀랍지 않습니까?
As Sonia said at the ceremony, there is a lot of yin and yang to Mina and my personality. And it has led to some very funny proclamations from Mina from time to time. I obviously talk too much. And amongst other things, I've occasionally been told by Mina, can you please just stop talking so much?
Sorry.
소니아, 즉 제가 아까 주례할 때 말한 것처럼 저희 부부 성격은 많은 음양이고 그래서 때로는 이런 것들이 재미있기도 하고 제가 말을 너무 많이 해서 가끔은 미나가 제게 말하죠. 제발 입 좀 다물어줘.
Despite this yin and yang, I've never met anyone who I feel so perfectly complimented by. Someone who is so similar to me in so many ways. Someone who understands me so well. You are the small to my big, the silence to my loudness, the beauty to my beast.
So beautiful. 이런 음양에도 불구하고 저는 이렇게 저와 완벽하게 맞는 사람 만난 적이 없습니다. 여러 면에서 저와 너무 비슷하고 저를 너무 잘 이해해주는 큰 제게 여린 미나. 저의 큰 목소리에 그녀의 침묵이 되어주고 제 짐승 같은 면에 그녀는 아름다움을 붙어 넣어줍니다.
You look so beautiful today, and the tears I shed when I lay eyes on you walking down the aisle earlier, a testament to how beautiful you look, and how lucky I feel to not only love you, but also how lucky I am to have such a strong, intelligent, beautiful person I've been to.
미나야, 오늘 당신이 너무 아름다워서 한치라도 눈을 뗄 수가 없어. 아까 걸어 들어오는 당신을 처음 보았을 때 흘린 내 눈물은 당신이 오늘 너무 얼마나 아름다운지, 그리고 당신같이 강하고 똑똑하고 아름다운 사람이 날 사랑해주고 그런 당신을 사랑할 수 있는 내가 얼마나 행운아인지를 증명해주는 순간이었어. 당신은 이제 나의 아내라고 부를 수 있어서 너무 행복하고 남은 인생을 당신과 보낼 수 있어 가슴 벅차게 기뻐.
Had that whole period of Korean from growing, but I'm so blessed to be able to call you my wife, and from this day forward, I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. I've put a typo here. I need to so Mina and I met in the Maldives, and the first time I met her, we were introduced to each other by a Korean named Gina. And Gina introduced me to Mina. This was too good an opportunity to miss on a really good shit dad joke. Upon delivering the joke to Mina, Mina stared at me, completely blanked me, and turned back to conversation with Gina in Korean. And it was love at first sight.
I was rude.
여러분이 아시다시피 미나와 저는 몰디브에서 일할 때 만났습니다. 진아라는 한국 친구가 그녀를 저에게 처음 소개시켜줬죠. 아, 진아가 미나를 소개시켜줬네? 라는 설렁한 아재 개그를 선보이다가 미나한테 따가운 눈총을 받고 미나는 제게 총을 보이고 진아에게 계속 한국말로 대화를 하는 걸 보고 그게 아직도 생생하게 기억납니다. 제게는 첫눈에 반한 사랑이었습니다.
Despite this setback on first impressions, I was persistent and kept making excuses to walk up the 500 meters from my office to where Mina worked. Most of the time, I'd walk up with some excuse to take a photo and say hello, and she would stay focused on the computer and deliver a single word back in response. It didn't bother me. Not at all. I would just turn around and walk back to my office, and then I will go back the next day. That's what I would say.
미나에게 제 첫인상은 좋지는 않았겠지만 저는 끈질기게 온갖 핑계를 만들어가며 제 사무실에서 미나가 일하는 곳 500m 상당의 거리를 늘 걸어서 그녀를 만나고 혼신의 노력을 다했습니다. 대부분 제가 인사를 건네면 미나는 컴퓨터에 집중을 하고 있으나 단답한 인사가 다였습니다. 그래도 좀 괜찮았습니다. 10번 찍으면 안 넘어가는 나무 없다고 저는 매일 그렇게 500m 거리를 미나에게 가 문을 두드리고 또 두드렸습니다.
So look,
Hey, now we not going off the pride.
that's my wife. I've recently discovered that these single word responses and a general annoyance at me and my presence were not in fact due to her lack of interest in me, but rather it was just Mina's ridiculous work ethic and her focus. She still does this to me sometimes when she's working, and we live together.
최근에야 알게 된 사실인데 미나가 단답형으로 제게 답했던 것은 제가 귀찮거나 제가 관심이 없어서가 아니고요. 그녀의 헌신적 직업 윤리 때문이었습니다. 미나의 이러한 헌신적 직업 윤리 때문에 저는 지금도 가끔씩 업무 중에 미나에게 말을 걸다가 그녀의 답답한 인사에 만족해왔답니다.
Lovely people I've ever met, and I am so blessed to have such a person as you in my corner. So thank you.
오늘 저녁 우리 모두에게 훌륭한 결혼식 연설을 전해주신 모든 분들께 감사드립니다. 살아있는 기러기를 구해보려 하였지만 결국 구하지 못했습니다. 하지만 제가 어머님께 소중한 따님에게 최고의 남편이 되기 위해서 목 귀걸이를 드립니다.
All the words in the world cannot describe my love for you and how happy I am to commit my life to loving you, protecting you, raising a family with you, and growing old with you. So let's raise a glass to love, friends, family, and happiness. Hold it up, guys. Remember the Queen.
마지막으로 제 아내 미나에게 감사하다는 말을 전합니다. 이 세상 어떠한 말로도 표현할 수 없는 만큼 당신을 사랑합니다. 내 인생을 바쳐서 당신을 사랑하고 보호할 것이며 당신과 가정을 꾸리고 같이 늙어갈 것입니다. 사랑, 우정, 가족, 행복 그 다 위해서 건배합시다.
Thank you all.
Well done, Christopher! Great.
guys, let's also thank Sonia, our amazing celebrant and translator.
Thank you so much.
Lovely night.
Have a good night. Thank you. Bye bye. Good night.
Bye bye.